What's going on, guys? This is Jason of Auglitical. As always, I swim through the politics so you don't drown too. I am just a man trying to bring common sense in a world where common sense isn't so common. So we are going to cover the topic of homeless people and the homeless uprising in the train stations, especially in New York City. And this is something that I've noticed because as I travel through New York City, whenever I'm over there or doing anything or hanging out over there, every single morning there are just endless amount of homeless people taking up spaces in the train carts, and it's very dangerous. Now some people sit there and they go, oh well, the reason why they do that is because it's cold. A lot of these people rather be on the street, and it's really bad. And the problem is, it's one thing if you're on the train because something happens, and I've been in a situation where I didn't have a place to stay at the night for a night, and I ended up being on the train to spend time until I can get somewhere. It's one thing for a person to fall asleep on the train. That's not what we're talking about. We are talking about people who are literally laid out on the seats with blankets. This is something that, yes, it does happen. It happens quite often. We're talking about people who you can tell are homeless that have been on the streets for quite some time. It is a problem. The reason why it is a problem is because you may ignore it one day, you may ignore it another day, you may ignore it for a while, but eventually those people start to become deranged and they start attacking people. They start doing crazy shit on the train. I see it all the time. Shiny new New York City subway already derailed by vagrants, druggies, and scofflaws. Had to look up what scofflaw means. It's a person who flouts the law, especially by failing to comply with a law that is difficult to enforce effectively. It's not difficult to enforce. Get the hell off the train. Like this, the problem is that I'm sorry, people are not able to do their jobs anymore properly, especially law enforcement. You can see when a person has been on the train who has been homeless for a long time. Those people need to up and move. Period. You need to up and move. You need to get up out the train. The problem is that they don't get them out of the train system. They just go in there and they stay in there. They don't do anything about it. And I think that's de Blasio's fault, if I remember correctly. I'm not exactly sure when this became like a... Because this wasn't a thing. This really wasn't a thing as bad as it was 5 years ago. It really wasn't. Now it's getting really bad. This is why we can't have nice things. Let's look at the video. Right, so they got brand new trains. Look at this motherfucker, man. He's taking... See, this is the type of shit right here where you grab a person by his legs and you drag him out of the train. You drag him out of the train at this point. But the problem is that some of them smell so goddamn bad. I know this morning I was traveling by the train and every single... Like, I went into 3 carts and it was homeless people in every single cart. And one cart, I sat down for a second and the whole cart smelled like ass. And that's horrible. But you got people who will sit there and ignore it. You know, you got your little diaper on your face, your little tissue, you know, so you could try to filter out the smell. Nobody should have to go through that. And again, there's a big difference between people who are homeless and people who are helpless. The people who are helpless, these are the people who they rather do this. And it's disgusting.
135th Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What the hell are they doing? The fuck are they doing? This is why we can't have nice things. Vagrants, I don't know how to say it, vagrants, junkies, smokers, drinkers, and other scofflaws are already dwelling in the subway system's newest 27 million train, less than a week after it debuted on the A line. The Post witnessed the boorish behavior last week on the R211, which began running on March 10th and is the first batch of 1,175 futuristic cars the MTA is buying over the next 2 years for $3.2 billion. On Tuesday afternoon, 3 homeless men and a junkie were found in varying states of consciousness across 4 of the swanky cars, smoking. Right? See, and this is the thing. I they need to install cameras, right, in the trains. I know that it sucks, but it needs to be done at this point because a lot of crime is happening on your train station. And the thing that's so bad about it is the people that are doing these crimes, they return right back to the same. They return right back to the same train lines to commit crimes. On Tuesday afternoon, 3 homeless men and a junkie were found in various states of decay of consciousness across 4 of the 10 swanky cars. One man was zonked out and muttering to himself, "What the hell?" Oh, don't worry about it. The light above my head just decided to Final Destination and come off and nearly damn near kill me. But I'm okay. One man was zonked out and muttering to himself, and others stretched out on benches to nap during rush hour. So this is rush hour. So this is what, 9 o'clock in the morning? The Post witnessed a group of teens in the gap between 2 cars hanging their arms underneath the moving train. Should have arrested them. When someone alerted authorities, the train came to a screeching halt while MTA employees investigated, causing a 5-minute delay. On Thursday, a man blithely puffed a cigarette while other passengers sipped from a Coors tall boy. Later, a third man hotboxed in one of the cars with a joint. Some of them go in the middle. Some of them go in the middle. Yo, you know how many times I've been on a train and somebody would literally take a piss on the train? Like, they would go in between the cars and take a piss. And it's just like, for all of that, my dude, why did you decide to come out here and do that? You don't got a place to go to? You don't got a restaurant that you can go to? You don't got a home? You have home? Well, then again, well, no, the people who are doing that, peeing in between the stations, they were not homeless. They have places. They just decide to be assholes and do that. And again, no one catches them. Never catches them. Right? Put a camera in between the cart doors. Catch them doing that. They gotta get off the train, right? Have the police waiting for them. Do you know how easy that would make things? Nah, they won't do that. That costs too much money. Let's defund more police though. Later, a third man hotboxed in one of the cars with a joint. The new cars, designed by Antenna, was built by Kawasaki Railcar Industries, have been heralded by transit authorities and passengers alike for their top-of-the-line amenities, including wider doors for quicker boarding, better digital displays, additional room for disabled passengers, and security cameras. So you got the security cameras. How are they getting away? How are they getting away? How are they getting? You know what's so funny? So the law is not supposed to, like, police are not put in place to stop every crime. They're supposed to be put there to, because if they can deter a crime from happening, that's actually better than a crime ever taking place, right? You got the security cameras. You know what? Listen, I think people won't mind a 5-minute delay or a 10-minute delay or whatever that you want to say what it is, right? If it's announced, instead of what we normally get, especially in New York City, when you're traveling in a train, right? They get to a station and they go, if you need law enforcement is located on the platform, and they'll say that, and before the sentence is even done, the doors close and they go to the next station, right? No, I don't think people would mind, right? If somebody does something stupid in the train that people are paying for to go wherever that they need to go to, right? If they stop the train, right? Stop the train. Stop the fucking train. Get the law enforcement in position. Where they run into? They're on the train. They can't escape. What are they gonna do? You got cameras. And then you announce it. Oh, it's a 5-minute delay because of unruly passenger or whatever. I'm pretty sure that would actually bring up morale. That would actually bring up morale. Especially with the people who like to wear masks all day. Easy. And you know what that does? Like, when you start doing that, you know what happens? Now less and less people would want to do it, right? Stop the train ride for a second. Have a dedicated Have two dedicated police officers on a train or whatever like that from time to time. Pull out homeless people. Why not? Anyway, whatever. That's just my little hot take. Whatever. But even with cops occasionally stationed on some cars, behavior on boards continue to be a train wreck. Depressing scrap hangers who was hoping for a nice ride in the clean new cars. It's been 4 days and someone is trying to make it their home already, one scrap hanger lamented. I was expecting them to sleep in the older ones, not this new one. Two other passengers complained that their maiden voyages on the tricked out train literally stunk. It still smells bad, and there's still someone laying down on the seat, said Issa, 35. I was definitely hoping for better. And you got to deal with this every fucking morning. Every morning, every night. You got to deal with this shit every single fucking time. Electrician Shaka Hassan, 21, said, I was excited to get in and ride, but when I entered, it started smelling. Nothing good can last. Ironically, the next generation subway cars are attracting more migrants, an MTA and cleaner noted. They're drawn to it because it's warmer than the older car. They're drawn to it because it's warmer. So what the fuck are these, zombies? The new train managed to go viral in 3 days when a gang of teens plummeted an autistic... What? When a gang of teens pummeled an autistic 15-year-old and dragged him off one of the subway cars. What? Why? Why? You can have the greatest piece of equipment in the subway, but if you don't have the level of security to guard passengers, then what is the What do you mean you have You have cameras. You literally have cameras. You literally have You can literally have. You can have 3 cameras in every cart, right? One in the end, one in the middle, one on the other side, right? To catch it all. That's simple. That's simple. You know what's even better? You know what would be even better? If you can lock the doors. So when there's something that takes place, when there's some type of crime that takes place on the cameras, and you got somebody watching the fucking cameras, right? Lock that bitch down and let police do their job. It's quick and it's efficient. And it deters other people from doing stupid shit. Easy. Oh, some stupid assholes attacking people on the train? Well, no, because the last thing you want to do is be stuck in a train cart with a homeless person. This motherfucker's deranged and he's attacking people and you can't get out. But then again, maybe the instinct of fucking self-preservation, especially with you fucking white people in these train stations who just sit there and ignore everything as long as it's not a fatal thing. You just ignore it. Maybe your fight or flight response will kick in, and maybe you'll step up for your goddamn selves until the police arrive. I don't know. You know how many videos I've seen of people, especially white people, just getting viciously attacked, especially in New York City, and they don't fight back, they don't do nothing, and everyone just sits there and watches. Come on, let's get everybody active. Lock the goddamn train, fucking Hunger Games style. Listen. They gotta let the homeless and deranged and all these assholes fare the people just trying to go to work. Yo, that's wild, bro. There's no way in hell, bro. The fuck are they doing? Yo. Ah, man. You know what this reminds me of, and I kind of wish that I remember when I was young. I remember it was me and some other kids, and we found a porn book. And I remember we always looking at this porn book, and I remember saying, man, this is making my dick hard. And I said this as a kid. A grown-ass man caught us, right? He was like, oh, yeah? He took the fucking book. I don't think he probably kept it. I don't know. He took the fucking book. You know how embarrassing that was? Man, I wish that there was a group of adults, like just like what happened with me in the situation, that would have sold them with their phones and slapped their phones right out of their hand, let them shit fall on the floor. Learn your lesson. Get mad. Look at these fucking idiots. Asked about the disorderly passenger behavior already plaguing the new cars, an MTA spokesperson directed the post to the New York City Subway Rules of Conduct. Many passengers still appreciated what they considered a drastic upgrades from the 1970s era R46 models that currently handle the bulk of service for the A and C lines. It's a nicely designed train. The first thing that caught my eyes was the laminated doorway, said freelance consultant Chris Darlin, 58. I appreciate the MTA is trying to do something. Although two of the new trains ordered so far will be linked together by enclosed passageway known as an open gangway model, the train now running from Manhattan to Queens on the A line does not have the enclosed link that separates cars with the open gap. Riders are seen smoking joints and openly drinking on the train. Yeah, get them off the fucking train. Get them off the train. Again, you have the cameras. You're not doing your fucking job. But then again, I mean, they'll just be released, right? After the new subway train currently in service successfully completes a 30-day trial, more trains will eventually be put into service, including those with the open gangway model. Things can get a lot worse and smellier, strap hangers fair. I'm not looking forward to the open gangway because one person's going to stink up the entire train, said Edwin Martinez Vasquez. It still looks clean, but I wonder how long it's going to stay that way. You know what's gonna happen when they replace all the trains with the newer cars? More homeless on them because the subways got warmer. Next winter and winter after. This indifference to petty crimes began with de Blasio's rejection of broken windows policy. Stunning that one person could go so much can do so much damage in the city. Rejection. No, they were taken to court and lost, sadly. Don't you mean the idiot? With the money taken from his wife's mental health initiative, where did those billions of dollars go? That is true. That money did disappear. What did you honestly expect? There is no penalty for breaking the law in New York City. Bragg absolutely will not prosecute unless they are wearing a MAGA hat. Ah, this shit is disappointing. Yeah, run the brand new shiny trains on the filthiest line in the system that runs through the city's worst neighborhoods. What did they expect? Well, no, you can't say that because all of the other cities are being gentrified right now, right? Like you know that your hood is dead when you see a goddamn coffee store, you see a Starbucks pop up. Why even waste money on these cars? The old ones are still in decent running condition. They just don't have all the pretty flashing lights and electron. Yo, I've been in one of those old cars recently, and it's drastically different from the ones in the nice area of Manhattan. Like, for example, the entire color is different. Like, you go inside one of them old trains, the lighting is yellow. Like, the lights is yellow. They are dimmer. It's yellow. You feel like you're in a different goddamn world. This should surprise no one. Any new train is gonna attract vagrants because it's nice and they live to destroy nice things. And they're varying states of drug addiction and mental illness. Not to mention the train freaks all trying to ride it and record and film every aspect of it for their anti-social buff circles. The subway is unusable. It's clear that 33 million people a day just lack other options, largely due to the city making it prohibitive to do anything other than an approved choice. Regardless, ridership is never going back to what it was, so it's time to start enforcing fiscal responsibility at the MTA and firing some of those useless parasite manager administrator classes that doesn't do anything except generate bureaucracy and paperwork. I would suggest Subway Marshal Bashis. We never read about the air marshals being involved in investigating criminal activity at an airport or on board a chaotic plane these days, like Harris. They don't show up for work. Come on, man. You didn't expect vagrants, junkies, etc. to avoid the shiny new cars and wait for the dingy old car with the mustard yellow and orange seats to swing on by, did ya? Regardless of the car type, it's just a shelter, toilet, bar, and weed cafe on wheels. Yeah, absolutely. You know how many people? I don't know if it was a law that just passed or something. You got more people rolling up weed joints, all of that shit in the train. I mean, we've seen homeless people take shits on the train. It's really bad. When you reward lawlessness and mental illness, this is the result. Throwing money at problems only enables, it doesn't fix them. Yeah, that's the thing. Being right and being correct are two different goddamn things. You can teach a man, you can give a man a fish, or you can teach him how to fish. One's right, one's correct. Um, There we go. Adams is proud of his shiny subway cars costing taxpayers 3.2 billion over the next 2 years. Each car has security cameras to see all the vagrants sleeping, junkies and criminals that call the subway home. What good are these new subway cars when you have uncontrollable crime? The thing is, the crime is not uncontrollable. The crime is just left to do whatever it wants to do. Anyway, guys, we're leaving it here. But let me know. Do you think that there's other options that we can do to actually, like, let's say if you were mayor or whoever's in charge of fixing this, what would you do? I'm not heartless. Like, I understand. Like, I don't want some homeless person to fucking freeze up like that squirrel from Ice Age and just be stuck frozen on the floor somewhere or stuck in place frozen dead. Nobody wants that. But I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these people are not homeless. They're helpless. They want to be where they want to be. They refuse to go into shelters. A lot of times they say, "Oh, it's dangerous in the shelters," and it's like, but you're living literally on the street. Like you are literally on the street. As long as you have access to your circle, your dirty circles and drugs, and you can beg for money, because some people enjoy begging for money. They make more money than people who actually work. They run it like clockwork, and they have their own. Anyway, what would you do if you had the options or you had the responsibility? What would you do? Would you kick them all out? Would you find people? Would you slap a stupid kid's phone out of his hands and let that shit fall onto the train tracks because they want to stick their hand down the thing and record the ride? What would you do? Let me know in the comments. I will catch you guys next time.